Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to thank the witnesses for being here and for your service to our country. I wanted to ask about recent reports that Ali Mohammed Ali, a Somali pirate, there's been a failed prosecution of that case in United States courts where he's been potentially will be released. And it really raises the question that I think that I've asked you about in particular in the past, Director Clapper, in terms of our detention program. And one of the questions it raises, the President said last May that he would like to get to the point where we repeal the AUMF. And so here's the question. What happens in terms of detaining dangerous individuals, let's say members of Al-Qaeda, if we repeal the AUMF and close Guantanamo? Where do we detain these individuals? And if we're in a situation where one of those individuals is acquitted in a United States court, a member of Al-Qaeda, and what's our option if we've then repealed the AUMF and we no longer have Guantanamo? I see this as a real, very big safety question for the United States. Have you thought through that?
No, I haven't. No, I have to take your question because that's a hypothetical circumstance that I'd have to think that through and do some research, particularly with my general counsel.
Well, do you think it's advisable that we, at this point, given the footprint we've seen for Al-Qaeda, that we, at this point, are in a position where we can repeal the AUMF?
Well, again, ma'am, I have to think that through as to what, if again, a hypothetical situation, if AUMF is repealed, and just what would be done as a substitute or replacement for it. And I just, off the top of my head, I don't know.
Well, this is a pretty big question, I think, for us as a country. And so here's another question I'd like an answer from both of you on. It's a question I've raised before. If tomorrow we are able to capture Ayman al-Zawahiri, where do we put him? So if we capture the current head of Al-Qaeda, al-Zawahiri, tonight, where does he get detained? Would it not be important to interrogate him? And could you identify a length on how long you would need to interrogate the head of Al-Qaeda?
Again, a hypothetical question, and
well, I think it's a fair question for the American people. If we capture the head of Al-Qaeda tomorrow, where would we put him? What would we do to interrogate him? Where would we interrogate him? Do we have a place to interrogate him? Do we have a plan?
It would be very situational dependent, and so I am very reluctant to posit a hypothetical response to that because, as I sit here, I don't know. Clearly, though, there would be some arrangement made, and we've done this in the past, where we would have an opportunity to interrogate him for intelligence purposes.
General Flynn, how important would it be to interrogate Zawahiri if we capture him tomorrow?
It'd be extremely important.
And do we know how long it would take us? In other words, would we want to put a time limit on that interrogation?
We would not. I mean, obviously we would not. I mean, and every interrogation is different, and some take a little bit longer than others. And obviously, in a case like Zawahiri, that would be a very important one.
And if we
in our case, the longer the better.
The longer the better. And so we don't know yet exactly what the plan is if we capture him tomorrow of where we would put him. And I see that as a huge problem on a very important issue, unless either of you are able to tell me what the plan would be. I guess the answer is no.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, but the questions were.
The answer is no?
Again, I cannot speculate on a hypothetical issue like that, as important as that is, and that's all it would be.
I would also like to ask both of you, I saw a New York Times report on January of 29th, 2014, that said that the U.S. says Russia tested a missile despite treaty. The article goes on to say that American officials believe Russia began conducting flight tests of the missile as early as 2008, and says that the U.S. has concerns that Russia has tested a new ground-launched cruise missile that may violate the landmark 1987 Arms Control Accord between our two countries, the Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces Treaty. Director Clapper, does the U.S. have intelligence about this potential Russian violation of the INF? Have we had that since 2008?
Happy to discuss that with you in closed session.
Okay, thank you. I'd also like an answer in closed session. If we knew, as the United States Senate was debating the New START treaty as late as 2010, whether we believe there was a Russian treaty violation, and whether anyone in the Senate was informed about Russia's potential violation of the INF while the New START treaty was being debated. So I would like to take that in classified
We
setting.
take very seriously our obligation to brief the Congress, and they were. We have an audit trail of that. And again, I think this would be best left to a closed discussion.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that. With regard to Iran, when we went to the Munich Security Conference, the foreign minister for UAE not only did we talk about the right of enrichment, but essentially what he said is that the hotel rooms in Tehran are filled with businessmen waiting to do business with Iran. What do you know about efforts being made right now to try to do business with Iran? And in other words, how would you assess the strength of the sanctions right now, and is there a concern that many are lining up to do business with Iran?
It's true that there are business interests that see potential here for business in Iran, and I know there have been efforts made to through government-to-government contacts to try to forestall that.
But there have been efforts made to forestall it, but is there a sense out there that the sanctions are unraveling? Because that's what we heard from many people that we talked to.
Well, there may be a sensing of it. I think what we try to watch in the intel community is the actual performance and the performance of the Iranian economy, and so far we haven't seen that, but that's something to watch.
You have not seen the sanctions unraveling yet?
I wouldn't say that, no.
Okay. Well, I know my time is up, but I would like to take those questions in a classified setting with regard to Russian treaty violations. Thank you.